So we already said this, but if you see these vertical lines, this is called absolute value. And we type it in our calculator. The way we type it in on a graph, it's not going to look like vertical lines. It's going to say abs for absolute value. So do you see delete? Right below delete is a book. Okay, so hit the book, and then the very first one is abs, which means absolute value. We just type in X for this warm-up. We hit enter. That's what absolute value looks like. It's always positive. It's always above the x-axis. Okay, so it's going down, but then it comes back up. Stays positive. So we are going to sketch a graph of that real quick. You might have already done this, which is fine. But the question is, what's the domain in range? So domain is left to right. Does everyone agree it goes left forever and right forever? So what should I write right here? Negative infinity to positive infinity, right? Can you shut that for me? So negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, range, does everyone see it does not go down forever? It actually stops right there. What's the y value right there? 0. And it includes 0, so I'm going to use a bracket. So 0 with a bracket, comma, and then it goes up forever, right? So this range reminds me of when we did quadratic. Okay, it stopped one of the directions. Cool? All right. Now, I'm going to pass out the notes. We're going to be doing absolute value notes. By the way, 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3 are due. So if you haven't finished those, you should try to do that. We got brand new stuff we're learning right now. So if you can make it real quick, really quick. It should be on Skyward. Oh. I'm here in the morning. Around 7 o'clock. There we go. Okay, so we have absolute value parent function is just absolute value of x. Now, on the left here we have a table, so let's fill out that table. Go into the calculator, and how do we get a table? Control T. So let's graph. Few to the left, few to the right. It's asking us for -3, which is +3, -2, which is +2, -1, which is 1, and then 0, 0. So it's basically 3, 2, 1, 0, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I want you to plot those points, and it should kind of look like what we were doing on the warm-up. Okay, so -3, 3, -2, 2, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And you can make your best looking graphs through those. Okay. And like it says at the top, it should look kind of like a V. And we already did the next part, domain and range. What's the domain? Negative infinity to positive infinity. But the range, how far down does it go? 0 with the bracket to infinity with the parentheses. Okay. Now, the vertex, if you remember, vertex from Parabola was like the change of direction. Same thing here. this time it's like a corner, right? So right there, it's either a min or a max. What do y'all think the x and the y-intercept is? What's the coordinates of the x-intercept? Okay, 0, 0. What about the y-intercept? And for the x-intercept, there's up to 2 different ones each time. But for the y-intercept of this one, it's 0, 0. Okay, make sure you have that down over here. What? Well, it's where it crosses the y. Like, it crosses the x-axis right there and the y-axis right there. Right, but they're not always going to be the same, just this one. Okay. Ouch. Now, I'm going to scroll down. Does everyone have this top half? Does everyone have this written down? Again, we want to get in a good habit because the second 9 weeks, and if we haven't been doing good on the first, if we haven't been writing stuff down, we got to get in that good habit. Now, on the bottom, you'll notice the bottom of your notes are just like the bottom of the notes of 2.3, 2.2, and 2.1. The transformations are all the same. So let me scroll down now. A is still vertical stretch or vertical compression or reflect over X. B is still horizontal stretch, horizontal compression, or reflect over Y. C moves it left or right. D moves it up or down. And then C is a what? Insiders lie. C is a liar. Okay? Cool. So all we're going to do is same stuff we've been doing with a new function. Absolute value. So flip it over. Let's look at number 1. Okay, on number 1, what's A? Remember, A is out in front of the... So, yeah, here's A. B would be in front of a parentheses inside, but there is none, so there's no B. C is inside the absolute value, and there's C. And D is outside, there's letter D. Just remember, C is a lie. So, what? Now, vertex, again, we're going to use these two to get the vertex, but what am I going to write for the x value here? Instead of -5, +5, comma, and then this one stays the same, -3. Okay? Let's graph it to see if it's a min or a max. How do we graph it? In our calculators. Don't forget, you're pressing the book and then abs. So let's do this. Make sure you press on, new document, do not save, add a graph. And we're going to do -1/2. So negative sign, control divide, 1/2. And then again, what? Yeah. No, it's not updating. It's loading. It must have been off. Oh, maybe it glitched. I don't know. Okay, so -1/2. How do I get absolute value again? What do I press? What do I press? What do I press? The little book. And then what? Abs. Bloop. Now, what's next? X minus 5 is inside those parentheses. X minus 5. Go to the right of the parentheses and press -3. Okay? Make sense or no? Who? But are you writing this down? Let's finish this first one. Now, is that a min or a max, that vertex? Max. It's at the top, right? All right, so it's a max. And how do I get the points from this graph on the calculator? What? Control T for a table, right? Now, I want to find this vertex, 5, -3. So I'm going to go down until I get there. 5, -3. When you plot points, plot 2 before and then 2 after. So I'm going to plot all 5 of these points. Let's start 3, -4. 4, -3.5. 5, -3. 6, -3.5. 7, -4. Okay. Now you can use a straight edge to make straight lines. Okay. Okay. Now, x-intercepts. Where does this cross the x-axis up here? None. Does everyone see it does not cross up here on the x-axis, right? None. Domain. What's the domain always going to be for absolute value? -infinity to +infinity. For range, does everyone see it's going down forever? Forever down means what? -infinity up to, what is this y value? -3. So, -infinity in parentheses up to -3 bracket. Remember, bracket includes the value. Cool. Stay with us, because I want you to, when you're catching up, I'm not sure if you're understanding. Yeah, so if you had like a -3 with the parentheses, that means it does not include it. That would be like an open circle here or something. That would be a different thing that we're not going to see on these. Bracket includes, yeah, and then parentheses does not include. Transformations, real quick. If A is negative, look up here. When A is negative, that means it reflects over the x. Write that down. Reflect over x. Okay. And then 1/2. Is that bigger or less than 1? 1/2 is less than 1. So check it out. When that A value is less than 1, that's a vertical what? Vertical compression. Vertical compress. And then real quick, you tell me. Here, you could tell me, since you're so engaged. Which way does this go? 5, which way? Left or right? To lie, remember. So instead of -5 means +5, which is left or right? Left or right? Right. And then this one's up and down, and not a lie. So is it up or down? Okay, so right 5, down 3. Very good. Write that down. Right 5, down 3. All right. Cool. One more example, and then I'll let y'all do them on your own. All right. Number 2. Do we have an A? Yeah. Do we have a B? There's not a parentheses or anything there. So, okay. Do we have a C? Do we have a D? Okay. Now, we have A, C, and D. What is the vertex going to be? C and D. What's it going to be? 4. Negative 4. And then what? Negative 10. Okay, now, min or max. Let's graph it in our calculator. Let's do it real quick. So, do a new document. Do not save. Add a graph. I'm going to press 2. And then I'm going to do absolute value. So let's press 2. How do I get absolute value? What do I press? Libro. Abs. Okay. And then x plus 4 on the inside. Go to the right. And then minus 10. Now that's bigger than I can see, but I can get the x-intercepts and the min or max just by pressing menu what? Menu. What do I press? Menu what? 7 is incorrect. You sure? We've been doing this for the last 3 units. You don't know? You forget. Menu 5-1. Now you're not going to forget, right? What do I press again? Can you do that instead of doing that? Put it away. Now, I want you to go all the way to the left until you get to that x-intercept on this side. Negative 9, comma 0. Let's write that down for this x-intercept. Negative 9, comma 0. And let's put a point there. Negative 9, comma 0. Then let's go down to that vertex. Is it a min or a max? It says right there. Negative 4, negative 10. So that's a min. And let's graph negative 4, negative 10. And then let's get that other x-intercept. 1, comma 0. One comma 0. How do we get the other points? What do I press in the graph? Control T. I can get some more points so I can make a nice graph. Control T. I'm going to graph negative 6, negative 6, negative 5, negative 8. And then negative 3, negative 8, negative 2, negative 6. All right, and you can make yourself a nice graph that goes through all those points. Using a straight edge would be best. Which one? Way over here? Negative 9, 0. All the way over here to 1, 0. Now, domain is always negative infinity to positive infinity. How far down does this go, though? This is negative 10 with a bracket all the way up to forever, so infinity. Transformations are going to be, if A is 2, that's greater than 1, that's a vertical stretch. And we already said it moves 4 to the left, 10 down. 4 left, and 10 down. There's no B, so it doesn't do a horizontal stretch or compress. Okay. So, with that information, you're going to get started today, and then tomorrow the goal is to finish. If you have not turned in 2.1, 2.2, or 2.3, that is on this second 9-week set. Some of us need to start strong on because last 9 weeks things were not as awesome as they could be. So, let's focus on this today or catching up. That way, tomorrow we can finish it up. Okay?